Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So today we're going to look at some love-themed cards, and we're going to play around with the Love Notes Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. So this particular paper pack has just some really pretty images in it, and it also contains some different greetings. So actually, we're not going to be doing any stamping today. Everything came directly from the designer paper, which is kind of fun. But I will show you some cards where I did add my own greetings. But for the cards that I'm going to walk you through today, the greetings came directly from the designer paper. So, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So, this is the paper that we are going to be using today. And if you haven't seen it, it is on, let's see, page 17 of the Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. And like I said, it has just a lot of fun images in it that you can use for your greetings or you can use for the background of your cards. So I'll just show you some of the papers. Here is another one. The nice thing about this paper is you can cut it right in half. So like for example, this is going to be a 3x3 square. So obviously all this pattern paper is 6x6. So if you cut these out, you'll have 3x3, and these will be like 3x1.5, and so on. So lots of fun little patterns in this paper pack. There's actually six different sheets, double-sided sheets. So I'll show you the other side. But there's 8 of each of these 6 sheets. So there's a lot of things that you can do with this paper pack. So this is the back side. And these are just some of the patterns on the back of this paper. So one of my favorites right here. So lots of fun things, lots of pretty little patterns that you can use in your card making. And so these are the cards that I'll walk you through today. Like I said, I cut everything from the designer paper. So I really just let the paper do all the work and even the greetings as well. So let's take a look at how to make some of these cards here. Let me move some of these out of the way. We'll start with this one. So what I like to do is just kind of cut out the different images that are in the designer paper and then just kind of create my own little layout with them. So for this one, I actually created this one probably last, but we're going to start with it first because I was using up some of the scrap pieces of pattern paper that I had left. So that's how I did this. But I'll give you the basic layout. If you don't have this pattern paper, you could certainly use any pattern paper you have on hand. But basically, what I have here is a 1/2 inch wide piece of pattern paper. It's 5 inches long. And then I added some additional little scrap pieces. So these are 1 1/4 inches wide, and they're 3 1/4 inches long. So those are going to be kind of the pillars here. And then this middle piece, like I said, came directly from the pattern paper. This is just 2.5 by 2.5. So I cut that down. If you cut it out of the pattern paper, it's going to be 3x3. So I just cut it down to 2.5 by 2.5. And then I have this little greeting here that I cut out from the pattern paper. So it's a pretty simple way to use this pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this top piece first, and then hopefully everything will flow from this top piece. So we'll add this first. And then we can add our pieces underneath it. Hopefully that's straight. So I had a lot of fun with this paper pack. I think so far I've created, let's see, 14, 18 cards, I think, with this paper pack. So it's really a fun paper pack, and you can use either side. So, on one side of the paper, it's just blank. So if you wanted to make like an anniversary card or something, you could do that. And then on this side, it has something inside the heart. So Kind of a neat little paper pack. So we'll add this right in the center, and then we'll add this one over to the side. So like I said, this is a fun little layout that you can use with any pattern paper that you have. And you can create your own little focal point. And then for my greeting, I think I cut this down, let's see. I cut this down to 2.5 by 1 inch. So this is 1 inch wide. And it's 2.5 inches. And I just added some dimensionals to it just to give it a little bit of depth here. So that's all there is to it. I haven't decided what embellishments, if any, I want to put on here, but I just wanted to kind of give you the basic layout. So like I said, all this comes from the pattern paper. So there's no stamping that you have to do whatsoever, which is kind of sad, but in a way it's kind of fun. All right, so let's look at this one. Here is another design. And I like to use, well, I don't know if you guys saw this. I've been sharing these lovely doilies. These were online exclusives, and they're still available. But I like to use little bits and pieces of these lovely doilies. You can use either the colored side or you can use the white side. So for this one, we're going to use the colored side. So let me grab that. And I'm using white, obviously, white cardstock for the base of all my cards. So it's your A2 size card. It's 4.25 by 5.5 when it's closed. And so for this one, I have a bunch of different pattern paper layers. So this one it's 3 inches by 3 7/8. You could do 4 inches, instead of 3 7/8. But we're just going to add this to the top part of our card. Get my glue going here. And then I cut a piece of the heart paper, which is 3 by 4 inches. So it's just the heart pattern paper. And of course, I'm going to add my little doily to the top of this. I just have 1/4 of a doily. So basically, I just cut the doily in half, and then I cut the doily in half again. And that's how I get that little 1/4 inch or a 1/4 piece. So we'll just add that to the top part of this. And then we'll add it to our card. And then this will just go right over that spot that had the little half frame. And then for this middle piece, I just cut out the, whoops, I got some glue stuck hands. I just cut out the little greeting from the pattern paper. So I think this one is 3 by 1 3/4, actually, this one is. So this is just going to go in the center. But then I cut out another piece of pattern paper that had this little camera on it. And so this is just going to go behind here just to give us a little bit of color. So this piece, I'll tell you what it is. It's 2.5 by 2.5. So 2.5 by 2.5. Whoops. And we're just going to add this piece right over the top of that camera. So let's do that. And we'll just add this right to the center. So you can see how easy it is to create some really cute cards with this pattern paper. So for those of you that are just joining me, this is the pattern paper that I'm using. I'll bring the catalog in here. I'm using this Love Notes Designer Series paper. So these are the different patterns on the paper. It's on page 17 of the catalog. Let's add some dimensionals here. So when you're using pattern paper like this and you add dimensionals, you do have to add maybe a few more dimensionals than you normally would, just because obviously the pattern paper's thinner than your cardstock. So that's our basic design. And then we are going to add a little bow on here. And I like to add my bows with a glue dot. We'll just add this right up in here. And there is card number 2. So yeah, it's really a pretty pack of DSP. All right, so let's put this one to the side. Let's make this one. Here's another one where I kind of used up some scrap pieces. So let me find it. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. So here is the third card that I'll walk you through. So these are just all little scrap pieces that I just kind of created a little, I guess, collage with in the background here. So these little heart-shaped balloons, these are 1.5 by 3. You can cut these directly from the pattern paper. So 1.5 by 3. And then this middle piece here is 3/4 inches by, I did 5 1/8 inch long. And then the little heart-shaped pieces are 1.5 by 2 inches, and those are going to go up in each corner. So just kind of a very fun way to, so if you have scraps, this is a fun way to use up scraps, but it's really a fun way to use this paper too. So we are going to add all these little pieces. I'm going to put this middle piece in right away because everything is going to kind of flow from this middle piece. And I'll get all these out on my blog for you so that you'll be able to get all the measurements and things out there. And then we'll add this one here. And you don't have to make these cards for Valentine's Day. Like this one says sending hugs, so it doesn't necessarily have to be for Valentine's Day. All right, so there is our basic design. Excuse me. So then I cut this sending hugs. I cut this one down to 1.5 by 2.5. So 1.5 by 2.5. And then I added some dimensionals on the back just to kind of give this some depth here. And this is just going to go right in the center. And that's it. That's card number 3. So we'll put that one to the side. And then card number 4. So wow, we're 13 minutes in and I'm already on card number 4. All right, so let's grab some of these pieces here. So for this one, again, I'm starting with white cardstock for the base of the card. And then I just cut a piece of pattern paper the same size as the card front. So this is 4.25 by 5.5. So I just wanted to cover the whole entire card front. So we'll add this. And we'll scoot this over a little bit. All right, so that is the background so far. And then I just cut, I used some black cardstock and just created a 3 by 4.25 inch piece. So that's going to go on there. And then I cut some of the pattern paper. So this is 2 3/4 by 2.25. So 2 3/4 by 2.25. And then I cut another one at 2 3/4 by 1.5. So it's 2 3/4 this way and 1 1/2 that way. So we're basically gonna just create this fun little focal point here. Let's add these pieces. And then we'll add this one. And then I just used some of that red and white baker's twine. So let's grab our little piece here. And we're just going to wrap this around the center. And where's my scissors? So we will tie this. So I like to wrap it around twice, kind of stagger these a little bit. Oop. Move these down into that spot. And we'll tie a little bow. And let's trim off this extra here. All right, so that is our little focal point. And then we can add, well, let's add our doily first. I'm gonna add this little bit of doily. So this time I'm gonna use the white side to add that little doily. And then we'll put some dimensionals on here. And we'll probably have to add quite a few because it's kind of a big piece. So, and well, we're just gonna dimensional this up, I guess. Don't like a saggy focal point. All right, so then we will add this right to the center of the card. So cute. So there you go. So those are two different images that are in the pattern paper that you can use together to create a little focal point. So that is, those are the 4 cards. I didn't think they were going to go that fast, but let's bring them back so you can see them. So these are the 3 of them that I put together. And again, all these little pieces, where's my pattern paper? All these little pieces come directly from the pattern paper. You can cut them any size that you want. See, here's the hearts here that I used here. So here's the sending hugs. You have Happy Heart Day. And then here's your Happy Valentine's Day, which I cut down for that. So there's lots of fun things that you can do with this particular paper pack. So 4 quick and simple cards. I'm going to show you some other card ideas. I created a total of 6 with this set, I guess. So here is just another idea. I was just kind of using up some different scrap pieces that I had. And again, I used the greeting directly from the pattern paper. And here's another one with my little doily here in the background. But you can die cut the, where did that go? You can die cut that greeting directly from the pattern paper. Just use your stylish shapes dies or a circle die to cut this out. And then you have a greeting for your cards. So let's see if I can get these on there for you. So there's 6. And like I said, I'll get these up on the blog for you so you'll have all the measurements and things to create these. But I did actually feature this particular paper pack as my tutorial for the month. So I like to give away a tutorial each month to anybody that places an order with me. So it's just a little thank you for you. So these are the cards that I created for the tutorial with this particular designer series paper pack. And I actually used the banner sayings bundle. So it's the banner sayings has a bunch of different greetings and things that you can use for your cards. And then, of course, it has a triple banner punch. So you can punch out different banners for your cards. So this tutorial is free to anyone that places an order with me. I also have it for sale if you prefer that option, although I don't think I linked it with this video. So when I get off this video, I'll provide you that link as well. But here are just some of the cards. Like I said, I love that, the little roses and flowers. And then here's another one that I created. So there's a total of 8 different card ideas in this particular tutorial. And this is that new embossing folder. I forgot the name of it. The one with the hearts on it. And so here's another one. Whoop. So as you can see, you can create them for, it doesn't have to be just Valentine's Day. I have just celebrate here. This would make a great anniversary card. Here's a Valentine's Day card. So lots of fun little images that you can use. Oop, my bow got twisted here. Here's another one. I really like this pattern in particular in this paper pack. And then here's the last one. So those are the cards that I have in my tutorial. So if you've placed an order with me, thank you. And you should have received that tutorial via email. So all right, you guys. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. Just some fun ways to use this pattern paper. Sometimes it's fun to just cut out the different images in the designer paper and just use them as is. Like I said, there isn't any stamping on these particular cards, so you could easily use the greetings and such that are in the designer paper. Or, as I just showed you, you can use any stamp set that you have on hand to create some different greetings for your cards. So, all right, so I hope you enjoyed these card ideas and are inspired to play around with your supplies, or maybe give the Love Notes Designer Series paper pack just a second look if you haven't, or if you haven't seen it, just to give it a look. Like I said, it is on page 17 of the mini catalog. So, all right, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your day and a great week. And I will see you guys again next week. So take care, everybody.